Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors, your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad you're here this morning. We have a very special guest in here in the studio. But first, let's get started with our weather brought to us by Haney Technical Center, right there at the corner of Baldwin Road and Highway 77. Principal Mike Heppenstall and the staff there will be glad to help you out. Just stop by there and visit the place and see what all they have to offer for you. Okay, high today now is going to get up to 68 and low tonight 43. But we're looking at a good weekend. We'll have a lot of rain this week. And, you know, I was talking to my sister-in-law up in Dothan. They had 9 inches of rain. One of those trains just sat down right on top of Dothan and it drenched them. And they always keep up with the rain. So we've had plenty of rain. The rivers, I've been showing the last couple of days. The Apalachicola now this morning is at 19.7, so we're going to round it off. The Apalachicola is at 20 foot. And the Choctawhatchee over Caryville is at 15 foot. So the freshwater fishing is going to be challenging, but, you know, it's really good that all this water is coming down that river, those river basins and spreading out back in that backwaters, back in the sloughs and all. It's just going to fatten up those little brim. Those little brim will be fattening up those big bass and be a good spring with this kind of stuff going on. So very thankful for this kind of rain we've had this week. Okay, the tide. Taking a look at Panama City tides. Again, we're into the neap tides. We have the high tide 12:52. We had this morning. Low tide 11:49, and we had a 0.6 foot range. Okay, always every Friday morning I like to give a big shout out to the Sea Quarters Marina staff down at Caryville, one of our really good sponsors. They're getting ready. We just got the word on the grouper season. It is going to open early down in that area, just like it did last year, and we're going to talk about this more next week. But the dates have been set for grouper and snapper, and if you get a chance to fish that area off Caryville, special place. Trust me, it's a special place, and their grouper season will be open earlier than our grouper season up here. So we'll talk more about that later in another show. Okay, let's take our first break, and we'll be right back with our guest. Welcome back, and welcome to our special guest, Drew Benton. Good morning, Drew.
Good morning, Coach Chester.
Drew is fresh coming off that big $100,000 check down in Lake Okeechobee. When we heard that, I had people at Facebook lit up and all, and when I saw that you'd won, my face, I told my wife, "Oh, Drew won that tournament." I mean, that's how everybody. This is our local boy now. Went to Mosley, graduated from Rutherford. And the Benton family, I've had all your cousins and everything, so I know the background, know your folks and all, and all outdoorsmen, and we were just so proud of you.
Yeah, it was just an awesome week. You know, went down there. It was my first tour event. Just went down there to compete, and you know, you're rubbing elbows with guys like Roland Martin, Stacy King, people that I grew up watching on TV my whole life.
Yeah. And
to come out on top, that was just unbelievable.
Well, I mean, I about jumped out of my chair when I saw it. I said, he's with the big dogs now. He was running with big dogs, and he won it. He didn't place now. He won it. Check out this trophy. That trophy, he handed it to me this morning. I almost dropped it. It weighs so heavy. It's close to 30 pounds, but that is the original first place trophy, the FLW Tour and all. And now, was this the opening event of the tour?
It was. There's 6 of these events. It has a championship at the end of the year called the Forest Wood Cup. And you accumulate points for each one of these events. And this is a pretty good start. So yeah. I'm excited to see how the momentum carries on to the next one and just get the year going.
Well, I know you have some great sponsors and all that. We'll talk about those later. But Drew has agreed to show us some of the plugs and all he's fished with. But you started fishing, I guess, way back as knee-high to a grasshopper, huh?
Yeah, my pawpaw, he took me fishing for the first time on the Apalachicola River. And it was brim fishing, you know, and I'm pretty sure I caught my first bass on that trip on a cane pole. But
yeah.
But from then on, I was just, you know, excited about them little green slimy things. And it's took me all around the country chasing them, and it's just been a fun ride.
Well, I know several years back, and you and Matt Smith are good friends. And Matt, you know, used to come on the show, and still comes on the show on occasion. And a lot of y'all know Matt Smith. And Matt was touring with Ideal, and he almost did the same thing. And I talked to him after he won. He was so proud of you, too, and all of us were. But you really got to be dedicated.
You do. It's a full-time job, and people don't realize that. You know, they see the glamorous side on TV. You know, you go out and go fishing in these new boats and on TV and everything, but it's a full-time job from daylight to dark. I'm out there after them.
Yeah. Well, listen, we're going to start off now. We'll show the trophy, and we're going to show pictures later. But we're going to show some of these lures and plugs and all you fish with. So what are some things you like to fish with?
Okay, this here is it's a custom swim jig. It's made by PGM Lures. 90% of the fish, well, probably not 90, probably 70% of the fish that I weighed in during the tournament came on this bait here. I put a Bass Assassin dye dapper on as a trailer. It has a great swimming action.
You did have a trailer on it, okay.
It just gives the bait a bigger profile, and this tail has a really great swimming action. And what this blade does is when you pull it through the water, it causes a big disturbance and vibration, and that attracts them, in there to it. So it's just a great bait to search with and cover lots of water.
Now you think the bass always wanted this, are they mad at it or they're curious at it?
I think it's more of a reaction. They're sitting down there, next to a clump of grass, and when you run that thing by them and they see it, they don't have time to think about it and see what it is, and they're just like us. They're curious and they want to grab it, but they don't have hands, so they've got to grab it with their mouth. And by that time, it's too late.
Okay. All right. Now, where can you get something like that?
Lee at Angler's Tackle on Highway 22. Every bait that I fish with, every piece of equipment I buy from Lee. He has everything.
Yeah. Good
he has more than anything in a Bass Pro, I guarantee you.
Yeah. That is great. Okay, what else? You got another one or two?
This is that Bass Assassin dye dapper that I was throwing on a trailer. I also throwed it on a weighted jig head or a weighted hook, just swimming around those bedding areas as I was searching for sight fish on the beds. And each day between this and this is a Bass Assassin Vapor Shad, it's kind of like a little bit more finesse-y type bait. You jerk.
What's the difference between it? Is it a tail action or?
Yeah, this dye dapper has a paddle tail, and primarily you're swimming this bait. This one here, you're throwing it out there and just twitching it along, and it's like a dying shad.
Okay.
And each day I got several key bites on these baits here. And then whenever I did find one on the bed to sight fish with, I pitched in here with this Bass Assassin Pure Crawl.
Okay.
This is the best crawl on the market today.
Is it?
Bass Assassin's one of my sponsors, and that I don't think there's a better crawl out there.
You like that? That's the color you like?
Yes, this is the Grave Digger color.
Okay, all right. So there he is. You're getting secrets now from the guy who just won $100,000 this past weekend fishing against the Road Martins and the legends of the bass field. That's amazing and all, and we're proud of it. What we're going to do, Drew, we're going to now your folks are still here in town, and you got kin folks all over the place, haven't you?
Oh yeah.
And married now, and then you're 23, 24.
24 years
old.
old.
I remember we was back at Mose and went over to Rutherford. He's a good ball player too. So he ended up with a fishing pole in his hand instead of a baseball bat.
Yeah, and that's another thing. The baseball played a big key in this. I went on to play at Gulf Coast with Coach Candler.
Yep.
He's one of the toughest coaches around, and that really prepared me for this, because that fourth day, it was a grind out there, and I stayed mentally tough, and I think that played a big role in what I was doing. So athletics definitely molded me into the person I am today, and I really appreciate everybody who had an impact on me.
Well, that's good to hear. We always push that, and a lot of our athletes love the outdoors, and we see it on a regular basis. All right, we're going to take our next break. We'll come back with these pictures and show you all this action that went down there at Lake Okeechobee. Welcome back. Sitting here with, I guess we'll call it hometown hero, Drew Benton. He's took on the big boys and won that big tournament down at FLW down in Lake Okeechobee. And you brought some pictures, Drew. I know you're still on cloud nine. I mean, it just happened Sunday.
Yeah, I've come back down. It's just been a deal where I've been on the phone for probably 20 hours out of the day, it seems like, and it's just been great.
We appreciate you taking time to come down here and share this with all our viewers. We've got a lot of bass fishermen, a lot of outdoorsmen, just a lot of people that are proud of you too, that you probably never will see, but I guarantee you that our viewers are proud of you. I guess your sponsors are pretty proud.
Yeah, I have a lot of people to thank. Phoenix Boats, Mercury, Power Pole, Bass Assassin, Phoenix Rods, Lew's, Lee at Angler's Tackle, Jeff at Sunset Isle Marine. If I tear anything up, I can take it to him, and he'll fix me right up, before going out. It's just, I have a lot of people to thank. And
we're talking about going out. Now we're going to start showing you the pictures. This first picture right here, talking about going out. You fishing in the big grass now right here. Tell us about this picture here.
Right here, I'm catching a fish off the bed that I had found the day before. in the day before the tournament. This was actually on day 2, and I started on this fish and caught it. It was about a 4-pounder, and it really got the day started.
So they were bedding up in Lake Okeechobee at this time?
Some were. They had a strange winter. They've actually been bedding since October there, and it was kind of just hit or miss on the bedding deal. But when you found one, it was a bonus.
Yeah. Okay. Of course, this next one, this might be the signature picture here. You holding this up. That's a picture flashed across Facebook and all that. That's a great picture there.
Yeah, being that I'm footing a majority of the bill on my own, starting out, this is just a big relief to me because I can go out there the rest of the year and just focus on catching fish and not worry about making checks. And it's just, it takes the pressure off a lot.
Yeah, yeah. If you're going to win it, you want to win it early like that.
That's
so you
right.
just expense paid the rest of the year. Now tell us about, we got these bass coming up. Tell us about how we did. This is day 1, you said?
Yeah, this here's day 1. I started on 2 sight fish in the morning, caught them pretty quick, and culled up a limit, to about 16 or 17 pounds. And then I run down south and picked up that swim jig and went to cover on water and culled 2 of the fish that I weighed in. Those are the 2 that I caught on that swim jig.
All right. Then these next 2 right here.
This was day 3. I went and caught like 16 or 17 pounds off the bed that morning, and about 12 o'clock I run to my fishing place and picked up that swim jig, and I culled everything I had out in 15 minutes, and I weighed in 23.9 on day 2.
Are you serious? In 15 minutes?
Yeah, I was pretty excited about the 4th day, and
now, were you in pretty good shape? You in first place right here? Or?
No, I'm in second place right here.
Second place right here.
But I didn't beat up on the fish. I left them. I only fished there for 15 minutes. So it was a big school of fish, and I was excited, to go get there on day 3 and 4, and got out there on day 3. And the wind changed out of the north, and it was blowing 20 miles an hour out of the north, and it just trashed the area. And I had to call an audible there about mid-morning and really back up and punt. And we caught 15 pounds on day 3, which is the next picture there.
Okay.
I caught all them in that bedding area on the bass assassin, dapper, and vapor shad. But it was just enough to keep me in the hunt. And then on the final day, of course, I just...
All right, the final day. Now, look at this lunker here. How about this one?
I had a small limit. Probably it took me till about 2 o'clock to catch, and we're due in at 3:15.
Ooh.
And
you cut it down to wire, didn't you?
And 30 minutes before we came in, an area popped in my head, and we ran there, and I picked up a Hildebrandt spinnerbait, which I hadn't thrown all week. Fired it up there, and she just annihilated it.
Now, what made you think about going to that Hildebrandt?
Well, I had been throwing the swim jig all week, and actually all day that day, and hadn't had but 2 bites on it all day.
Yeah.
And I felt like they were kind of getting a wrap on that, so I just picked up something different, just to see if I can get something going. And
I suppose what a great tip that is as outdoorsmen. We're always looking for some little clue or something, and that right there, you felt like you sort of worn that first one out and then just throwing something different.
Right.
And that could be bass or redfish or whatever. Same principle.
Right.
Yeah. All right. What about this picture here?
This is me just poling around that sight fishing area. You can tell the vegetations are very, very thick, and those fish, when they're on the bed, they're real skittish, so you try to stay off your trolling motor and pole around to sneak up on them. It's kind of like hunting, stalking a big buck. It's pretty. That's the reason why I really like it so much.
Yeah, and that's what I say to all the folks about red fishing and bass fishing. Or so you got to be so quiet doing that. And here it is. You got a big trophy right here. I know you're proud of that.
Yeah, taking home the hardware.
Taking home the hardware. Our own Drew Benton out here. What amazing hearing the story. That's the first time I heard the story. The first time a lot of folks heard it. And it's amazing how you were able to adapt to it. Like the wind came in, and then you had to change and go to Plan B.
Yeah, I fished the Everstart down there earlier in the month, and the wind really bit me in that one. I had 1911 the first day, and the wind came out of the north and did the same thing, but I wasn't prepared in that one. And when I went back down there, I had a mindset to fish all around the lake and really prepare for any wind in case that happened again. Because when you're down there at Okeechobee, that's going to happen, and it did, and it really paid off for me.
And it's so huge and all. And people just don't realize. You look at it and you don't ever see the other end of it. So, to narrow down some fishing spots is just a feat in itself.
It is. It is.
Now, the other guys and all, did you see? How close was it at the end? You said it was.
Without that big one, it would have been close. I think I had it calculated. I lost by half a pound.
If you hadn't caught that big one, I was talking about how one fish can make that kind of difference. Wow.
I ended up winning it by 5, but with what I had after I culled a small one out, I think I'd have been about a half pound shy.
Oh my goodness, that would have been a heartbreaker.
Yeah.
All right, look, folks, we're going to take our final break. Now, we're getting ready for our Tarpon Rock Seafood Famous Friday fishing forecast. We're going to do a little bit different since we have Drew. We're going to try to pull up Lake Okeechobee and let him show us some of the places he was able to go to. Plus, we're going to do our drawing, and then we're going to try to show you what's going to happen this weekend if the river don't stay too high. All right, so we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. So here with Drew Benton getting ready for our famous Friday fishing forecast. And I don't know if any better someone to forecast with than Drew was coming out of this weekend he just had. Listen, first let's get our drawing, okay? This is Tarpon Dock each week gives us 2 items for our viewers, and the first one is going to be a $20 gift certificate. Drew, I'm going to let you do the honor of drawing out a name and seeing who that is right there.
Jimmy Fields from Bluntstown.
Jimmy Fields from Bluntstown, a good viewer up there. Jimmy won that $20 gift certificate from Tarpon Dock, and now the winner of this one will be a big old red snapper. All right, one more, Drew. Who's that winner?
Mary Williams from Defuniak Springs.
Oh, look here, we had a Bluntstown winner and a Defuniak Springs winner. We appreciate all of our viewers. We cover 9 counties, and we get people all 9 counties. I guarantee you they're excited this morning watching you. Now, we're going to look at Lake Okeechobee, okay? We're starting our famous Friday fishing forecast down at Lake Okeechobee. I know you're not going there this weekend, but if you're ever there, we're going to hear from the experts. So, Drew, just show us a couple of places you went.
Well, to start with, this area right here is known as the Shoal. I did most of my sight fishing right here. It's real clear water once you get in off the outside of the lake, and it's full of vegetation. It's got a hard, rocky bottom. People don't know that this whole area of the lake is nothing but limestone rock on the bottom.
Okay, I did not know that.
And that right there is key spawning grounds for these bass. And they really key in on it. The other area that I was fishing was down here in South Bay. This is Rita Island here, and this is Kramer Island here. And I was actually somewhere right in here on the outside reeds where these fish were coming in offshore, and I was catching them on that swim jig. And I was making that run. That's about 20 miles right there.
Are you coming out of Clewiston?
Yeah, coming out of Clewiston, I would either, pick one or the other.
Now, how many miles is that?
From here to here was 20-mile run.
Goodness gracious.
And I made that trip probably 4 or 5 different times a day.
Oh, my goodness. So you have Pahokee there and Belgrade and all that area. That's all sugarcane country down there.
It is.
And we talked about all the athletes come out there. Did you go up north anywhere?
I did. I practiced all up in here. I had areas up in here. Matter of fact, on the 4th day, this is the J&S part. It's a very well-known area.
Yeah.
I almost took off and ran up there, and had I done that, I might not have,
wow,
won the tournament. But it comes down to decisions. But all this up here is really great fishing. This is known as the Monkey Box. It's just a big, well-known area. 90% of the tournaments are going to be won out of that area, but it wasn't the case this week.
Oh, that's incredible. Okay, listen, we're going to pull back up north here, up in our area, and we're just going to go through a couple places each Friday to try to get an idea on all. Freshwater fishing. Can we go to Wimiko? You are familiar with Wimiko, right? We're going to find some bass places for our guys here at Wimiko. So show us some spots right in here, okay, that you like to fish Wimiko. If you don't mind. You don't have to give away your top secret spot, but just in general, folks want to fish Wimiko.
Right here at Shell Point, it's a good area to start with. A lot of fish are moving up this time of year, especially with the spawn approaching. They'll move up and filter their way up towards Andean Bayou.
Yeah.
Right here, when you first come into the lake, there's a lot of good bottom right in there. It's hard bottom. It's got eelgrass beds. It's a fantastic place to fish. And right now, though, I think you're better off staying in the river.
Yeah.
I think the river is really has a healthy population of fish, and I think your better quality fish are going to come out of the river right now.
Okay. What kind of plugs would you be fishing with high water like this? What would you try to do? What colors and all?
High water, you want to throw something you can throw back there in the woods and really not get hung. So I like to throw stuff like spinner baits and buzz baits and things like that. Yeah. You know, so you can really get it back there where the fish are at. If you throw a crankbait or something back there, you're going to get hung up all day and make it for aggravating day fishing.
Well, do you have a chance? I know your wife is excited about you winning all that. Have you had a chance to take her out to eat and Valentine's and everything like that? So we all squared away with that.
Oh,
right?
yeah,
So,
yeah.
Does she enjoy fishing too?
She does. She likes to go out on the boat with me quite often when she gets a chance.
Yeah. What about you've red fishing all before and all growing up and all, haven't you? I don't guess you have a chance to do much of that anymore.
I go out with Matt a little bit every now and then when I get a chance, and it's a fun retreat to get out there and do something different. And offshore fishing too, I enjoy all of it.
And that's what I tell folks, the beauty of the Panhandle, and you travel all over the place now, but the beauty of the Panhandle and the opportunities we have here is just phenomenal.
Yeah, it is. You know, you can come here and do anything you want to do. You can fish for inshore saltwater fish, trout and redfish. You can go bass fishing. I'll be glad to take anybody out. I do run a little guide service now.
Oh, okay. Well, now, how do they get a hold of you?
You can go to drewbentonfishing.com. All my contact information's on there.
Oh, great. drewbentonfishing.com.
I'd be glad to take you out to Seminole, Apalachicola River System, Deer Point, anywhere you want to go, I can take you. And,
good. Do you ever fish the Lake Talquin area much?
I do. I do.
That's a good place.
That's a great fishery. They stock it with bait, and the fish are really healthy.
I know it. We just talked about a couple of big lakes: Seminole, Lake Talquin, Wimico, even Deer Point.
Yeah.
You grew up on Deer, basically.
Yeah.
Learned as a kid fishing Deer Point.
I live right across from High Point Boat Ramp, so I know it a little bit.
As the crow flies, that's not too far from the house. I'm gonna have to run there and fish with you some. Drew, I know you've been busy this week. Again, we all on Panhandle Outdoors, we want to congratulate you, and we're so proud of you. And one of the guys said on Facebook, Drew's just a stand-up guy, and you know what that means. Everybody's so proud of you winning, and he's just a great guy. And appreciate you coming on the show.
Well, thank you for the opportunity.
All right, buddy. Listen, folks, thank y'all for watching the show. Now, you have a great weekend. Do some outdoor stuff this weekend, and make sure you do something good for somebody, and God bless.
Thanks for joining us for Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors features hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.